Welcome everybody to the YouTube channel. My name is Drew. This is the YouTube channel, as I just said. Welcome. So this is the weekly wrap-up show where we wrap up the past week's episode. And the last one that we did, the last episode was the Lori Lamont episode, which I thought was wonderful. And I thought there were a lot of great nuggets from that episode. And Lori tells one of my favorite stories of all time about going to the dentist with her children and how she was really able to turn the whole thing around by using the power of EFT, or emotional freedom technique, the tapping and breathing technique, which is really powerful. Because what I thought Lori did a great job of explaining was not that it changed. I mean, it certainly changed her own state and, maybe elevated her, whether you want to call it vibration or frequency or energy or mindset or whatever, but the way it impacted those around her, from her daughter to the dentist to the hygienist to everybody, was influenced. And this to me is just such a hugely powerful example of why it is so important that we have to, if we're going into a situation, why we have to elevate our energy first. And this is such a great example, because it's exactly why she calls it CPR, right? Or, you can think of it as, when you're on the airplane and they say how you have to put your mask on first. We have to put our mask on first before we can help anybody. We have to address our own energy first before we can influence anybody. So this was such a great example that it wasn't as though we have to just go out there and we necessarily need to talk to this person and talk to that person. I mean, maybe we do, but if we can really elevate our own energy, our own frequency, like for instance, we go to we transition from a state of fear and anger to one of gratitude, appreciation, love, peace, whatever it is, it sort of effortlessly impacts those around us. So we could do the hard work and we could try to put out every fire and talk to every single person around us and all this sort of stuff. And we can do that, but that's a lot of work. Where we could just we could focus on elevating our own energy using some of these techniques like EFT, deep breathing. Bruce Lipton talks about hypnosis. I have a good friend of mine. She teaches something called MTT, or meridian tapping technique. And so there's a lot of them out there. Energy psychology, right, is what we call it. But just getting to really the root, which is the root of these issues is something, it's our beliefs, it's our programming, it's these inner obstacles that we carry around with us, and we need to address them by using this is what energy psychology is really so powerful that I have found. And since Lori's episode, I have been tapping myself every day in the morning, maybe even in the evening, but I've been doing it literally. I've done it every day since, because I have really found it such a powerful tool for getting to some of these inner obstacles. So what I like to say is that, so often, so many of the obstacles in our life are of our own doing. And people don't want to hear this. People absolutely don't want to hear this. Issue at the job, issue, with our boss, issue with relationships, issue with making money, issue with losing 10 pounds. And I like to say that, this is our own, we have to own it. We have to own it. And the fact that in so many ways we block ourselves from what we say we want. And this is where, the conscious mind, the desiring mind, the mind, that really aspires for things, our wishes and desires, can often be at odds with our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is the mind we're not even aware of. It's the programs that we've inherited over the course of our lives. We may have developed them, when we were a small child. And when we have that conflict between the subconscious, which is, as Bruce Lipton says, is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. So it's as though, you have these programs that have been installed in us, just like, in a computer. And if you imagine you installed these programs in a computer that said, I can't do this, I can't do that, everything that comes up on that computer screen is I can't. So even though the conscious mind may think, I want to do this, we often have these programs that will just say, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I can't. And so really to change things around, we have to get to the programs. And this is why energy psychology, these tapping techniques and breathing techniques can be very useful to getting to the deeper layers. And this is what I say. So, I was talking to someone the other day and about this whole thing. And I said, look, the first thing you have to do, like for him, it was about making more money. But for someone else, it's about, simply just getting healthy, losing 20 pounds. The first thing you have to do, I think there's two things, but the first thing is to simply acknowledge that we are stopping ourselves. It's not the fact that, our boss won't give us a raise. It's that there's something in us that's blocking us. Because in the cosmic quantum realm, right, everything is possible. I think Buckminster Fuller calls it cosmic accounting or something like that. Cosmic accounting, where there's massive wealth, there's massive health, there's massive joy, there's massive amounts of everything, right? And in some ways, we have these programs that are blocking it from us. So we have to, number one is take that really sort of radical responsibility and take 100% ownership of the fact that whatever it is that we're aspiring to, what we're aspiring for, we're stopping ourselves. We are blocking ourselves. So that's number one. And that's like, people don't want to hear that, of course. It's not my fault, right? It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. No, we have to start by taking responsibility. And then, so that's number one, is this radical ownership. And then number two is we maybe use some form of energy psychology to get at these deeper programs that are getting in our way. So that might be the tapping that Lori was talking about, the EFT. It might be hypnosis of some kind. There's lots of different energy psychology forms. And in fact, Bruce Lipton on his website, he's got like a bunch of different styles on his site. But the bottom line is we want to pick one of them and try it, because we need to get to those deeper layers, because that's often the problem. That's what's going to be the obstacle. That's what's getting in the way. So we want to get to that. Very important. So anyways, I know this is just a big mind dump, just a big old mind dump here. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the Lori episode, the Lori Lamont episode. I thought she was great. And I thought there was there were just a ton of lessons that I think are that I took away a lot. And I think, hopefully you will as well, that are really helpful. So again, if you're new to the channel, or even if you're not new, please subscribe down below. And we're going to keep doing these, we'll keep putting new videos and content and the weekly wrap up. So please do subscribe. And I will see you again for next week, the weekly wrap up. And again, if ever you have a comment, or a question or anything, please feel free to let me know. And it is a pleasure to be with you. Have a great week. And I will see you again next week. Thanks for coming here today.